Hello, guys. Hello, guys. Hello, world. Hello, Philippines. This is again, I am a singer, eternal voice. Welcome to my voice channel. It's been a long time that I did not do my vlogs and live streams because I was very busy in my work and also for the continuous workout and exercises that I could not manage to do vloggings and live streamings anymore because I am very tired like that, and some also personal, activities such as washing the clothes, cleaning the room, okay, and everything. So this time I managed myself to do another live stream regarding this one, ketosis, metabolism, and etc. You may wonder why. What etc. Etc. is all about talking about phospholipids, talking about probiotics, talking about some hormones or steroid hormones, something like that. Okay, and some example of fats also. So it depends on other topics that I will be able to discuss, which correlates or have a relation to the main topics here. But before going further about ketosis, okay, ketosis and metabolism are clearly related to each other. Okay, their commonalities or their sorry, I am reconnection now. I have to wait for the connection. Okay, we are now reconnected again to the provider network. Okay, for the network provider. Okay, so we have similarities with each other, which is the internal process of burning fats or burning calories. When we speak about fats, of course, there are calories for that because the unit of energy are is calorie. Okay, so we have similarities with each other. This metabolism is a breakdown from this metabolism is a breakdown of larger molecules into smaller molecules. So the larger molecules could either be macromolecules that I discussed a while ago, right? The protein, the nucleic acids, the phospholipids, like that, etc. And some substances, organic substances, like that, hydrocarbons, like that. It could be broken down into smaller molecules, in which it could be now the waste substances that could be released in our body. So that is clearly metabolism, okay? But it's true because we need to, there are two kinds, right? We have the anabolism and the catabolism. Okay, the catabolism, this is what I discussed earlier. And then this anabolism, it is the reverse for this uh, metabolism or the catabolism. It is the, the generation from smaller molecules to the larger molecules, okay? Or propagation of the smaller molecules into larger molecules. Or synthesizing smaller molecules into larger molecules. There's a lot of term in English, right? So like that synthesizing, building up, or let's say making up, okay, or let us say propagation, generation of from smaller molecules to larger molecules, okay? Molecule A, and it will produce molecule B, molecule C, molecule D. So like that. So that's anabolism, okay? The breakdown, not the breakdown, but the propagation and generation, okay? So you have the clue now. Catabolism, the breakdown from large molecules to smaller molecules, and the anabolism is the generation or producing, okay, smaller molecules into large molecules. So meaning to say this is the reverse. So this two is two types of metabolism, but we are referring to the other one, okay? Especially in our healthy lifestyle, we're referring to the catabolism here, okay? Something like that. Okay, going back to the ketosis. Ketosis, this is related to carbohydrates. Okay, this is monosugars or monosaccharides or simple sugars. So I may explain first. Okay, this ketosis. This ketosis are body ketones in our body. Okay, and I may show you the formula for this. Okay, ketone is the parent formula for this ketone in organic chemistry. Okay, and then when it is ketosis, it become a process now called ketosis. Okay, but we will introduce to you what is a ketone, something like that, because it is very also sometimes you will be confused because sometimes acetone also it depends on the orientation or the behavior of the molecule, something like that, will act also as a sugar. Okay, I will explain later, but I may show you the formula of ketone first. Okay, like this. Oh my gosh. Actually, it will take this live stream will take a long time because I have to discuss in a detailed fashion, including the molecular structural formula. Okay, and I will try to connect the relevance one term to another terms, and I want to correlate that one so that we can clearly understand the basics. Because only basics, right? Because we cannot teach you the detailed or the deep information because we are not student anymore. Okay? So this is only additional knowledge. Since I am a chemical engineer, then I can relate to the topics that I'll be able to discuss to you in relation with our healthy lifestyle. Okay, because health is wealth, something like that. Okay, so if there are a lot of substances, chemical reactions in our body, then I can easily relate for that and share that with you also. Okay, going back to the ketones. Okay, I have so many scratch papers here, but due to too much writing, it will be consumed. Oh my gosh. Ketone have a general, if you can remember in organic chemistry, if you are taking BS chemistry or what else, BS chemical engineering to be specific, okay, or any sciences courses, right? So organic chemistry is always be there, okay? So this is basic, the formula of ketone, okay? There is one carbonyl, okay? Okay, this is like this. So this is like this, the formula of ketone. So one carbon atom in the center, double bond with oxygen, and single bonded with R, the alkyl group. The alkyl group are usually a carbon and hydrogen chain, like a long chain of carbon and hydrogen, something like that. That is alkyl group. Remember the alkane, the alkene, the alkyne, which are mainly the hydrocarbons. Okay, combination of carbon and hydrogen. That's why it's called hydrocarbon. Okay, that is very important in petroleum industry and petrochemical industry. Okay, like that. So this is alkyl group R. So it's usually composed of carbon and hydrogen that will be attached there. But this is a general formula. So ketone, the basic example is the acetone. Okay, it will end in ONE, that is a ketone family. Okay, so we have the acetone for its application for the removal of ink. If you write this in a in a whiteboard, then you will use the acetone. Then it will be removed if you use the acetone solvent. Or if you have the manicure in your finger, then you will rub that with acetone, then it will be removed if you use this acetone. Okay, something like that. There's a reaction between those colored material, manicure, right, and the ink to be eliminated in the whiteboard and to be eliminated in your nail, something like that. So there's a chemical reactions behind for that. Okay, that's not our focus. We will not be able to discuss that. Okay, so this one. So I could have here, I will change this to CH3 and this one CH3. So this will be an acetone. Okay. So this is now the acetone that we used, that we buy in the market. So one carbonyl group, double bond with oxygen, single bond with HCH3, CH3. CH3 is the simplest alkyl group. Okay, the starting point of the alkyl group, then followed by CH4, C2H2, and the patterns will follow because there are also formulas for that, for the alkyl. Okay, so like that. This is acetone. So if somebody will ask you, what is the formula of acetone that we'll be able to use in our daily, erasing of the paint like this, ink like that. So this removal of, colored materials. This is acetone. Okay, now this is ketone, right? This ketone also is very, what do you call this one? Have another behavior. It can act also as a sugar. In what organic compound? It is dihydroxy acetone. So you may wonder, right? Acetone is a ketone family, but this is not a sugar. If you will drink acetone, then you will be poisoned. Okay, but this dihydroxy acetone is a monosaccharide or simple sugar. Okay, that belongs to the ketosis process of burning fats and calories inside our body. So imagine there's a word acetone for this sugar. So sometimes it will be a little bit confusing, right? Because of the behavior of this organic compound. So this is dihydroxy acetone sugar. I will show you. Okay. So the same carbonyl group, double bond. Okay. Double bond. Okay. So this is not a dihydroxy acetone. This one. This is the hydroxyacetone. This one. Okay? There are 3 carbon atoms because this belongs to trioses, meaning 3 carbons. And this is an example of ketoses, which is a monosaccharide and simple sugar, something like that. And we have 3 carbon atoms bonded with hydrogen, hydroxyl, 2 hydroxyl group, like this. So this is a form of a ketone, right? This is the general form of a ketone. Triple bond oxygen. It just seems like that if you reorient that one. I will reorient that one so that it will follow the pattern of a general formula of a ketone. Okay. It's just like that if there are difference in the molecular structure presented in textbooks, then you have to orient already, the movement clockwise, okay, counterclockwise. But it is the same following the general formula. Because sometimes other students may be confused, why it's like this and the bottom, but it's totally the same, okay? It's only the orientation, the way, how they write. The important is the numbers of carbon, the numbers of hydroxyl group, the numbers of hydrogen will be just the same. Okay, like this. So this is the orientation now. We'll put now here. Okay, something like that. So this is now our dihydroxyacetone. See this one. One carbon, double bond oxygen, CH2O, CH2H. There are two hydroxyl because dihydroxy and the word acetone will be added into it. So dihydroxyacetone. Okay, something like that. Take the formula is just the same with the acetone, right? C in the center, double bond oxygen, but here only CH3 are missing. There's no hydroxyl group, but the general formula are taken. But they are not. This acetone is not a sugar, but this dihydroxyacetone is a sugar. It is simple sugar. So this is belong to the ketosis metabolism in our body, something like that. This is one example, dihydroxyacetone. For the ketoses, I'm referring to the ketoses. I'm not referring to the aldoses because our topic is ketosis. I will not be talking about the lactose, maltose, glucose. I will be talking about a little bit of glucose because it's related to other topics also. But talking with aldoses sugars, I'll never talk that one. Though they are the same, simple sugars or monosaccharides. Okay? Like that. So dihydroxyacetone under ketosis is one only example of ketosis, sugar. Okay? I'll be correlating ketone and ketosis because there's an explanation behind that. Why we don't have to take too much high carbs in our body or high carbohydrates, especially the refined white sugar and the white rice. Okay, so high carbs. So I will be incorporating to the discussion later on why I discussed this one. Okay, and wait for that. This is the main point. Okay, so I'm just showing the relevance so that you can connect. You can understand clearly. Oh, it's gonna be like this. Blah blah blah. Okay, and the second example of ketosis are the. Oh my gosh! Almost finished my ink. Okay. Dye. This is a dye, right? DYE, colored material also. Okay. Oh my gosh. Pencil pen, please. Time check brought to you by Rejoice Shampoo. Okay. Going back to another example for the ketosis. We have the ribulose. Okay, ribulose is also a ketosis sugar monosaccharides. Okay, ribulose. So ribulose is a pentosis, meaning to say there are 5 carbon atoms. Okay, ribulose. So 5 carbon atoms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Double band like this. Okay. Okay, this is the ribulose. Ribulose is under ketosis. We have the ribose under the aldoses, which is responsible in the RNA ribonucleic acid synthesis in the genetic information in our body as the basis of inheritance. Okay, like hereditary traits, something like that. DNA sequencing. Okay, nucleic acid sequencing. That's sugar, ribose, but we are not talking with the sequencing. We are here for the ribulose. This is an example of that ketosis sugar. So 5 carbon atoms, there's a double bond in carbon number 2 if you start at the top, okay, like this. 5 carbon atoms, count that one. Okay, at the top there are 2H and 1OH. Downside are 2H and 1OH also. And then carbon in the center, double bond O, like that, H, HCOH, HCOH, like this. So there are 4 hydroxyl group in this ribulose. And number 3 example of ketosis is the most important one. Okay, why and workout or going to the gym or any exercises, why not to eat too much fruits also and any vegetables because of the fructose. Okay, fructose will become bad if it is over in our body. Why? Because this fructose also can be made inside our body, okay, through synthesizing from other sugars, something like that. It will be there, like that. If you keep on adding fructose in your body and you will not burn it out, then it will become a problem also, especially if you are having a lack of vitamin D, something like that. Okay, this will react to the vitamin D, and then the vitamin D will be, will be reacting to this, and the effectivity of the vitamin D as a nutrient in our body will become lesser because this fructose will try to, react and loses the nutrients of this vitamin D, something like that. That's why it's not advisable to eat too much fruits after you take multivitamins, okay, or any supplements. For example, you're taking the vitamin D supplement like that. It's not advisable that you will also drink after that so many fruits. You will eat too much fruits like this. Okay, you can do that. Just eat for at least 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours. But directly after taking the multivitamins and then you take the fructose, it's not good because the fructose will react to the vitamin D inside our body. So the effectivity as a nutrient of this vitamin D loses, something like that. Though it's not totally loses, but it will just gradually decrease the effectivity of this vitamin D. Or there's a reaction there inside that, it will lose the structure and it cannot function properly as a vitamin D needed in our body, something like that. I cannot show also you the reaction because that is not our topic, right? Okay. Maybe next month I can show you the reaction between the fructose and the vitamin D, why the effectivity of this vitamin D will be like this. Okay, so that's why fructose also is bad if you keep on taking fructose, a sugar coming from the fruits, because there are also fructose that will be produced inside our body, plus the fructose we intake from eating fruits. Okay, so meaning to say there are a lot of sources of fructose. First, from eating fructose coming from the fruits and the green leafy vegetables, and the fructose also that made up in the natural chemical reaction in the synthesizing reaction inside our body. So fructose plus inside our body plus fructose we intake the fruits, it will become more higher content. That's why we need to do the ketosis. And what's this ketosis all about? This ketosis is mainly doing the metabolic activities, exercise, workout, okay, biking, running. So we need to utilize our ketosis because if it's just only staying in our body, okay, it will not be utilized, okay? And then plus your sugars, which is also aldoses. So you have a lot of sugars in your body. You have the lactose, you have the glucose, and the other examples also. Okay, so that's why we need to do this ketosis, and we need to limit our sugar intake, which is the refined sugar, like that, the high carbohydrates, the white rice, because that's also contributes sugars already. Plus the sugars also that ketosis stuck in our body, fruits and green leafy vegetables. So we have a lot of sugars inside our body. That's why tendency is so many will get fat. Okay, like so many people have a high sugar level during their physical examination. That's the reason behind, because they did not utilize their ketone sugars inside their body. Okay, They should utilize that one because it's also sugars. Because we are only using our other sugars, which is the lactose, the glucose, the ribose like this, and the other one also. Okay, the aldoses group. Okay, something like that. And now you understand. Okay. Okay, going back. So this is I will show the formula of fructose. Okay, like that. We are glyceraldehydes also. Okay. Ketosis, ketosis, focus tayo sa ketosis. Okay. But fructose is not bad. Only that if you stop fructose in your body, it will become bad. Okay. So it's not advisable for the one who will do diet, exercise, work out to take too much fructose. Okay. Even though you will watch in YouTube or any Google or any textbooks, if you read about fructose, you should limit the intake of your fructose. Okay? We need this, but it should not be over. It should be utilized through ketosis process. Okay? Like that. Naubos ako mga pentel pen. I need to state the formula of fructose first. One, two. Fructose is under hexoses, meaning 6 carbon atoms. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6. Imagine you should also take sugar, the sucrose. Sucrose, right? Carbon 12 H22O11. So those are refined sugars that can obtain through process, synthesizing process or synthesis process or chemical synthesis process. We take in that one. We still have also the stock sugars we have in our body, the glucose, ribose. Okay, how many sugars now? Plus these sugars, fructose, dihydroxy, acetone, and ribulose. So many sugars we intake, and then that's the reason behind you need to limit these other sugars. Okay, so many sugars already in our body. We need to dispose these other sugars because this is not really good to our body. Okay, something like that. Okay, that's why if you want to drink juice, just for me, I'm not forcing you. This is me. Just drink the fresh juice of the fruits directly. Okay, because it is not processed. Okay, it has no preservatives. It has no added sugar for that. Not by okay, because the sugars are being added, the refined sugar. Because we have a lot of sugars in our body already. Okay, and if you add that, what can we say, right? So overloaded with sugar. So type 2 diabetes, obesity, cardiovascular diseases, blah, 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 kidney failure, blah, blah. It will be interconnected with each other, okay, the diseases, because they are, friendship galore. One disease, complementary friendship with another disease, something like that. It will, like that. Actually, I don't buy, it's been 2 years plus already. Yes, but I did not buy bottled juices, canned juices, and packed juices. Okay, it doesn't mean I did not buy all ever drink. I also drink sometimes because company provide that sometimes also, but only a minimal. Okay, like that. Okay, I always rely on the juice coming from the fruits, the lemon, the orange, the granada, the pineapple inside the refrigerator. Okay, like that. Those fresh juice that added juice. Okay, like that. Okay, we're not talking for the fructose. Okay, edge, edge, edge. Okay, something like that. Okay. So edge, edge, OH, OH, edge, OH, edge, ganan. Talaga. OH, H. Okay. This is the identification. This is the fructose we intake from eating fruits, from eating juices, bottled juices like this, packed juices. Okay. These are in our body now. Okay. This is doing the chemical reactions in our body along with the other chemical substances. Okay. It's in our body now. Okay. Like that. This is the formula. Okay. The OH, it is the carbon number 4 that there's an exchange of positioning between hydroxyl and the hydrogen atom. See, it's the OH is there, the H is there. Basically the same with the glucose, but the glucose, the double bond is in the top, not in the second change. Has the same formula with glucose. 6 atoms of carbon, 12 atoms of hydrogen, and 6 atoms of oxygen. Only the molecular structural orientation where the single chapters to glucose. Uh, I was stopped for a while because, okay, going back. So if you have so much glucose in your body, in your bloodstream, glucose level in your bloodstream, it will lead to type 2 diabetes, okay, of obesity, overweight, and hyperglycemia, meaning the over intake of glucose in your system. The galactose, the ribose, the glyceraldehydes. Okay, the glyceraldehydes are coming from the glycerol with sugar alcohol in drinking too much beer, wine, whiskey, like that. So these are sugars. Eating white bread, cabbage, white rice, yellow rice, high carbs, like that. Okay? So there are a lot of sugars, right? Plus the galactose, okay? Plus the glucose, okay? Like that. So these sugars must be released, okay? So since you are not doing the exercise, okay, this will stuck also in your body. Plus the ketone sugar stuck in your body. There are a multiple of sugars remain in your body. Now, that's why you need to conduct exercise so that these ketones will be used, the ketone acetone sugars. Okay? That means we need to cut off our high carbs intake, our added sugars intake on the other types of monosugars. Because there are 2 types, right? We need to cut off the aldoses sugars. Okay, so that we can use this ketone. Okay, the only way to do this is to do a lot of physical activity so that we can use this ketone. Okay, so that's why our well, if we aid that this ketoses, if we release this ketone sugars in our body. Okay, I will show you how these ketone sugars function. Okay, so I will just put first a statement and then I will draw. I will draw first so that we can understand. Okay. Okay, that's why those people who are undergoing the muscles building, the bicep, triceps, the abs, are really cutting off the white sugar, like this, the sweetened flavors, like this, soft drinks, white sugars, something like that, because that is really a reason behind for the fat to exist, okay, in our body, something like that. And then they do a lot of exercises or workout because they want to release the ketone sugars in their body. Okay? As I mentioned earlier, there are 2 types, the aldosis and the ketosis. The ketosis is really the metabolism, okay? Internal process of burning fats and calories. So they are using the both to be released. So that's why they keep shape, a model or like an actor of a Hollywood movie, something like that, due to that reason behind. Now, if you will not do that too, so problem really, your stomach will become bloated and you'll be out of diseases when you reach 50 years old and above. Okay? 50 years old and above, that's the time the effect of the sugars will be coming in. Okay? It will be connected with high cholesterol level, high blood sugar, high sugar glucose, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, kidney failure, cardiovascular diseases, stroke, heart attack, okay, osteoporosis, like that, hypertension, hyperglycemia, okay, or any cancers, not to mention specifically, all type of cancers will be coming in, okay. Like that. So you need to be proactive to release this sugars from our body, okay, like that. Because it's usual cases that we are more of sugar rather than low of sugar. There's no people that is having low sugar, okay, always high sugar, because sweet food are very tempting. Okay, this is a very exciting flavor of all the bitter, sweet, sour, like that. This is the most demand taste of all, sweet, SWEET. That all over the world, a lot of people suffering from high sugar level. Okay, it could be blood sugar, glucose, or it could be other sugars, fructose, galactose, I mentioned a while ago, something like that. Okay, so like this. Okay, this is the lever. I will draw a lever. Okay, liver, liver. Wow, I have a beautiful liver. My gosh. Okay. So the identification, if your liver is in good condition, it will not shrink. Shrink. It will not be compressed. It will a little bit, healthy, or like that. If it will become shrink and then compress a little bit, and then so it's developing inflammation to the liver. Okay, it could either be non-alcoholic fatty liver or alcoholic fatty liver, like that. Okay, something like that. Okay, and there's a maximum uh, diameter, not diameter, distance, but only the doctor can know what is the normal length of the liver. But it will go beyond that length, and then there's already a disease that will be trying to develop already in your liver. Okay, something like that. Or if it is not soft anymore, there's a rough substances found outside layer, then there's a tendency a tumor will accumulate. Tumor, TUMOR, okay, or a cyst, CYST, somewhere in the outer layer of your liver, due to the harmful substances and toxic substances that were not detoxified, that were not digested, that were not dissolved, or that were not broken down into smaller substances that could be released outside from our body in the excretory system. It could either be through bowel movement or stool, stool. It could be into the sweat, SWEAT. It could be in our urine, URINE, and it could be in our mucous membrane, saliva. Okay, all sources of waste coming out. Okay, that means our liver cannot detoxify or cannot rid of those substances. After year, and it will develop a rough substances called tumor, TUMOR. Okay, and then the doctor also will measure the length of that. If it's already stage 1 tumor, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, and in the last stage, it's very now very now the distance on the height of the tumor is very big already, and the entire liver structure will be affected. It can no longer function as before or naturally as before. So that's why. Okay, and sugars are one of the causes also for that. Okay, this is the liver. This liver, okay, will release the fatty acids. Okay, I will draw fatty acids. So will release the fatty acids in the liver. So meaning to say, these fatty acids are already the excess fatty acids in which the liver no longer needed anymore, because this liver also need the fat in the cell membrane. Okay, in the cell membrane of this liver to become strong, so that there will be no viruses and bacteria that will attack in the outer layer of this liver. So it will be easily cut and broken. So it will be going directly to the in the membrane of the liver, because that's the purpose of the fat, strengthen the membrane of the cell, okay, the cell membrane of liver. So meaning to say, this fatty acids release is the fatty acids that this liver no longer needed, okay, and then this will go to the bloodstream, okay, like this. This is the bloodstream, fatty acids, okay, bloodstream. Ganon. It's gonna be like this. This is a physiology, right? The behavior of substances in our body. Okay, and then it will go to the bloodstream, the fatty acid. Okay, now after that, it will now act as a fuel. In chemistry, what is a fuel? Fuel are normally composed of carbon and hydrogen, and then it will release heat as an energy to trigger chemical process called combustion. Okay, like that. Always the fuel. Okay, rapid oxidation of fuel is called as a combustion. But in another analogy in our body, the same as combustion, but not combustion. This fuel will drive our body's metabolism. See? So meaning to say, the fats are very important to use as a fuel to drive our regular metabolism. Is that also good that we shouldn't intake fatty substances? We should need that also. Okay, that's why we eat protein. We have protein, meat, okay, lamb, pork, beef, chicken, because we need also fat for this reason, to act as a fuel to drive our metabolism, something like that. And not only metabolism, also for the support muscle functions. Ganon. They drive body metabolism so that we really understand what's going on inside our body. Okay? This is basic, right? I'm not talking with the terminology because I'm not a doctor. Okay? Higher terminology regarding epidemiology, something like that, to treat what are really the appropriate medicine for this. I don't tackle that one. I only the chemical reaction, what will happen after that one. Okay? Like that. And support muscle function. Okay? Now, in a combustion process, in a chemical reaction, in a fuel combustion with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide plus water in a chemical process, right? It's just the same theoretical aspect compared to this physiological reactions in our body. Okay, but we are using the term metabolism only, but there is the combustion process. Okay, if you remember about combustion, we release heat in the exothermic reaction. It's the same thing here in metabolism. Our body also releases heat during the metabolism. That's why our body will become hot or under extreme heat. When we do that, out. That's a sign that the burning process of fats are already taking place. That's why it's called burning, B-U-R-N-I-G, because of the word metabolism, because there's heat being released there in exothermic reaction inside our physiological environment in our body, something like that. Okay, so it drives the metabolism through the fatty acids that will act as a fuel and for support muscle function. Meaning to say, we need also to eat fatty foods because this acts as fuel for our metabolism and for our muscle support functions. So we'll become strong if our muscles will be rigid, structured enough, and then we will be strong always if our muscles are very lean. So fats are also needed for that. Okay, it's not good that you. That's why the main reason, if you want to go lose weight program is not cutting off the fats. Okay, cutting off the sugar and carbohydrate is not the fat. Okay, like me, I can still eat chicken, I can still eat pork, but my stomach are turned off. Okay, you can see my chest level is okay, but now it's very, it's very like this, flattened. And then the abs starting to grow. Okay. I already show you in my Facebook account, right? That my one ab, two abs are starting to appear, something like that. Because I always do the ketosis. Okay. I always do the ketosis, the burning of those sugars under ketosis, which is the hydroxyacetone, the ribulose, and the fructose. And then I also cut off the sugars from my carbohydrates because I do a lot of low carbs. Okay, so that's the point there. Okay, and it take me about 3 years to do that. Okay, 3 years now, just to attain the abs to be appearing. This is not really the clear abs, but what I'm trying to point it out is that the abs are starting to appear in my tummy. Okay, that's the point there. And then when I eat food also, there's a curve here. So that means that's really an ab already. Okay, but that's not really a multiple ab. I did not do a severe exercise or muscles building. I'm only doing the low weight program. I'm not doing there in the gym too much. I always do the sit ups, the push ups, the jumping jacks, the joggings, and the physical stretching only. Together with cutting off the high carbs, eliminating the refined sugar in my coffee, something like that. Avoid junk foods, avoid sweet foods, avoid chocolates. A lot of avoids I did in my entire life for now, 3 years already. No okay? No cake, no French fries. Okay, my life is very boring because I have a goal. That's so. If you have a goal, then you have to have discipline, right? Okay. So that's it. Okay, muscles function. Meaning to say, really, that we need to maintain our triglycerides level not more than 150 milligram deciliters because triglycerols are the components of fatty acids, right? One glycerol component plus three structured fatty acids, the saturated fatty acids, the unsaturated fatty acids, and the trans fat acids. And this is the fatty acids that we are referring to in this coming from the liver. I just do not put the molecular formula structure, but these are the fatty acids I'm trying to speak to you now. The unsaturated, the saturated and fat. So fats are very important also. Okay, to act as a fuel. Not only that, fats are very important also to act as a cell barrier. Okay, in our cell membrane to control the substances in and out in the cells. Wow. See? So that's a very useful function of the fats. That's why I can still eat fatty foods. Okay? But I cut the carbohydrates and sugars because of that principle. It's not the fats that can make you fat, it's the carbohydrates and the sugars during the breakdown of the chemical reactions or chemical synthesis or biosynthesis inside our body with other macromolecules there. Okay, I already discussed it last week, right? So like that. That's why I did not. Sometimes I will eat, chicken to chicken like that because I know already the principle. It will never causing fat. Okay, maybe it will cause fat to those who are not doing workout, physical exercise, but not really that high enough compared to taking high carbs or taking added sugars every time, coffee like that. The white sugar refined. Okay, the refined sugar is the composition of that is carbon 12 H22O11, meaning to say you are adding the glucose to another glucose to produce this sucrose or maltose. Okay, like that, maltose. So glucose plus glucose is equals to maltose. Okay, glucose plus fructose is equals to sucrose. Imagine. That's why I'm telling you a while ago that fructose is also bad because in our internal body function, it will also create a sucrose, the same as the refined sugar we have in our table. We buy. Okay? We have the white sugar, right? Carbon 12H22O11 plus the sucrose that will be introduced inside our body through the reaction of glucose plus fructose inside our body that will also produce sucrose. So how many sucrose you have now? So two sucrose inside the body and the sucrose that we buy from the store. So that's the reason behind also that some healthy lifestyle vlogging, they said that intake too much of fructose is bad. That's the reason. Okay. Now we may wonder why, because fructose are the sugars coming from the citrus fruits, and we may wonder also why this is healthy. Due to that reason, especially when you do not do your exercise, this fructose will not be breakdown into waste. Okay, the more it will be added by the sucrose we drink in our coffee, the white sugar, right? That's why I eliminate the white sugar in my coffee. Okay, like that. Or in my juice, I will never put sugar in my lemon water. Okay, in my pineapple juice. I have also in the refrigerator the the fresh pineapple juice and fresh lemon juice and fresh orange juice. I'll never put sucrose or white sugar for that because it's already sugar. Okay, because it will be diluted already in the water and the taste will be disappearing. Water is polar, so it is conductive. Okay, like that. Okay, so basically, if fats are not along with water, it will not react to water because it has a low affinity to water because the charge is not negative or this is not electrically charged. So this is non-polar. All the fats. That's why it will remain inside our body. That's the reason behind. It will not go along with the water or any solvents. It will just stick there, something like that, and it will be deposited as fat in our belly fat, something like that. Okay, so it will, separate the liquid water and the substance called fat. So, meaning to say, this fat behavior is amphipathic structure. Amphipathic meaning the head will be polarized, reactive to water, and then the tail is not reactive to water, hydrophobic, insoluble to water, or will not react to water, or that is hydrophil and phospholipid. Okay, that's the reason. That's the problem. Okay, that's why it will accumulate in our blood vessels, something like that. It will causing blood clot there because it's not easy to remove these fats also. That's why we need to keep on increasing our metabolism by doing exercises so that the fats will remove. As I discussed already, right? That's the reason behind all. Okay. So if do not be afraid. For example, you have the intermittent fasting for 14 to 16 hours. This is really the reason because we have really the reserved fats in our body and the reserved sugars in our body, which are the ketoses. That's why it's not a problem why we did not eat at that 14 to 16 hours. Okay, imagine if you remember your medical examination, the doctor will say never eat 24 hours in order to have tests to be accurate. That's the reason. Okay, meaning to say there are still substances remain in our body, natural substances remain in our body. Okay, and if you keep on adding that one, it will become a problem. That's why intermittent fasting is advisable. Okay, like that. Or long hour fasting is just okay. When you sometimes, if you think 8 hours maximum interval time, then why you are hungry on 8 o'clock? It's not still 4 hours. There's abnormality, right? So that means fight that one because that is not a true hungry. That is only the ketones are properly or ketoses sugars are properly working, are doing the right metabolism inside your body. So that's what I am doing now. I'll never eat, okay, my snacks in the morning. I will never eat my snacks in the afternoon because I think it's no longer necessary. It's just only a temptation to eat. Okay, and that's a natural process in our stomach. It will sound right. That's normal. That's not really bad. Okay, unless you are not eating your breakfast. That's bad. Because the breakfast food will be digested a maximum of 6 hours. Okay? And if you eat your breakfast at 6 o'clock, you become hungry at 8 o'clock, it will lead you to become fat. If that is the case. No problem if you are not really concerned with that issue. Actually, there's nothing about that. I'm just telling you the real score for that. Real principle behind why we are keep on uh, increasing our fatty levels in our belly fat like this because of triglycerides level. Okay, fatty acids and the glycerol. Okay. Okay, finish ketosis and metabolism. Already also discussed. We go now to the what time already? Oh, 9 o'clock. I have to stop this live stream. Gosh, I enjoy talking with you guys because there's a lot of principles behind I need to discuss. With the hormones, the relationship between the insulin hormone and the glucagon hormone to avoid the hyperglycemia disease and the type 2 diabetes. Okay, like that. Release from this glucagon. Okay, this glucagon hormone, word itself, glucagon, this is a hormone that rely mainly or depend mainly on the glucose substances. That's why it's called glucagon. Okay, this acts as a hormone. Okay, like that. So if this counter insulin hormone, meaning to stimulate the production of glucose. Okay, hepatic glucose, meaning glucose that are stored in the liver. So hepatic glucose from the hepatitis disease. So that's why it's called hepatic glucose production. Stimulate, meaning it will excite